Okay, well, I hope also you can see my screen now, which is in the presentation that I will be sharing with you, in order that you have all the everything that is explained to here. Also, the video of this presentation will be shared via the usual channels. Also, I wanted to welcome to this webinar. As I said, this webinar has been organized jointly between the Europe office and the West African office of ZKTeco, and I want to give a warm welcome to our attendees that come from this area, Nigeria, Ghana, all these countries. You are very welcome. The structure of this webinar will be, I will be doing the full explanation on the software. Well, we are going to explain from the installation what needs to be taken care of when we are installing ZKBioSecurity, and also the options, the different options that we have during the installation. Then we will go to the configuration of the software. It's impossible in this 2 hour, more or less 2 hour webinar, to go to all of the possibility, all of the options that we have in ZKBioSecurity, but we will provide a quite good explanation about mostly the most important things. Okay, the access control, the time and attendance module, well, the most important modules. Also, as you know, you will be able to download the trial version of ZKBioSecurity, which works for 60 days without restriction, without very important restrictions. And you will be able, also, this is something that we need. We need that you do this job, this work. As I said, it's impossible in a webinar in 2 hours or 5 hours, 10 hours. It's impossible to go in all of the options of configuration in all the modules that ZKBioSecurity allows. So we're going to do a good chunk of it, the most important, but we need that you actively do this job now of installing ZKBioSecurity and check by yourselves if the configuration your customer is requesting can be done or not. This is something that we really need. We cannot, well, I'm from the Europe office. I suppose in our West African colleagues have the same problem. It's very difficult to have to be on everything to answer everything, to be a first level of everything that can happen in a company. It's, you know, the possibilities are endless. Also, well, when we finish this presentation, this training, this explanation of the software, we will leave the last minute, the last part, so everybody can ask their own questions. That you have the questions part in the GoToWebinar software that we are using. Let me close this. Okay, we will be able to make any questions that you want. Also, as I said, I suppose we will leave it for the end, because I suppose most of them will be answered by the explanation I'm going to provide. And well, you can, as I said, you can ask anything, and also you will have the usual channels to ask things afterwards. Okay. So as I said, starting with the webinar. Here I have this presentation that our marketing colleagues have prepared to us, which is a very good presentation. ZKBioSecurity, your all-in-one web-based security platform. What does that mean? Well, all-in-one. The ZKBioSecurity, as you know, has several modules that allow us to configure and to set up all the security and things related to the security in our company, in the company. No? As it says, it's all in one, because in one platform, in one software, we have centralized the access control settings, and also several others, many others, really configurations that can be done in order to have everything in the same platform. So we don't have to have several platforms, one for security, one for attendance, one for video, one for everything, elevators. We have all in one. So, for example, the employee registration will be the same in all the system, for the same platform. But don't need to register everything many times. It's web-based because it provides a private cloud service in which people or the users of biosecurity will be able to access. They don't need to have an installation in the client, in the computer where ZKBioSecurity is accessed. It only needs to access via a web server, via a website, via a browser like Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, etc. That we have this option to access biosecurity and do the configuration that we need. Okay. Before going to further way into the software, as I want to make the installation, I'm going to go to this computer that I have in my network, which is where I'm going to install biosecurity. Then I will access biosecurity from my own computer. So you can see how when I install biosecurity in a software, then in a server like this one, I will be able to access from another computers in the same network in this case. But there are also options to access from different networks via the internet, or via VPN. Well, the possibilities are endless into this. So, well, first of all, I want to show in order to download. I'm not going to do it because I have already downloaded. I will go to my corporate website, ZKTeco.eu. Here, if I search for biosecurity, okay. Here I have the products that ZKBioSecurity, and here I will always have the latest version that is homologated, that can be installed, that is tested, that is working, everything by the European office of ZKTeco, which I assure you we make several, well, we go through every module to check that everything works as it should. So here in the download section, I have here the installation file. I have downloaded ZKBioSecurity 3.0, 3.0.0, which includes the NTD module. Here we have a separate options to download the German language version and the Italian language version, but well, it wouldn't be needed today. Also, here I have the old version 3.2.0.0, which is the one that is kept due to compatibility between customers that already have biosecurity and they need to keep on having it. Okay, they need to keep on having a link to download this version. Okay, I already downloaded this. I have it here in my server, and I'm going to start the installation here. As you can see, once I download and unpack the file, I have two installations. This second one, ZKBio VMS plugin, I only need to uninstall it if I am using the VMS module in order to view the cameras. I would not be doing it in this webinar. As I said, this could take many hours, and I don't want to go into that detail. We can make another webinar if it's needed. The separate modules we can work. Don't worry. But this is not the object of this webinar. So I'm going to install the main file over says ZKBioSecurity V5000 3.0.0. So first, the software, what it's going to do is it's a check. Well, here I need to allow to install it. It needs to be an administrator account. And let me start explaining. This software, ZKBioSecurity, is aimed always at servers. Not meaning that needs to be a server with Windows Server. It can be, this one has Windows 10 installed, but it's aimed at servers because, as I said, it will provide, well, let me push OK and continue with the installation. It will provide a web server, so other computers in the same network or another network will be able to access in order to make the configuration, okay? So it's aimed at servers because this web service needs to be available at all times, no? Even more if I different countries. So let me, well, it's starting the installation. Just now it's going to appear the installation. The first thing that the installation does is a check on whether the software, the computer where the software is going to be installed is able to hold, it has complies with all the requirements of the installation. Okay, it's not that important. That's not a big of a deal. if some of the like as you can see, the antivirus software test displays an error, but this would be just a warning. There are some, for example, if I'm not an admin user, I will not be able to install. But here, antivirus software test, what it says is the operating antivirus may lead to a failure to install. Not that it's going to fail, but it may lead to a failure to install, okay? This should be done in advance. Okay, don't worry, I have this completely under control. It's not going to happen anything. I'm going to ignore to continue with the installation, okay? Let me know if something is not clear. Well, some people have a question. We can hear you. We can hear you. Everybody hears me here. Okay, perfect. Okay, because sometimes we have had several problems in other webinar that for some parts my voice was not being heard correctly. So well, please let me know if this happens, because we will stop. Okay. Okay, let me continue with the installation. Accept the agreement. Well, here, this is the agreement, which is not that long, but I have already read it. And here we have the first decision that we have to, well, the first configuration setting that we need to take care of. As you can see here, biosecurity has two service ports that need to be used in order to configure the software. One is the web server port, in which I will use to connect to the interface of biosecurity in order to make the configuration, check reports and everything. And the other one is the ADMS port. The ADMS port is the port that will be used for the connection of the devices, okay? In previous versions of biosecurity, they only use one port, but in V5000, as the amount of information between the server and the devices grows bigger, then we decided to separate this into two ports. So we need to take care of this. We need to open these ports, let the traffic into these ports. If we are using, for example, if the devices or the connection to the software is being done outside of the local area network. For example, if we are accessing via the internet. As I said, well, I didn't say it, but it's something that is important. Biosecurity is a multi-site software solution. So it's important that we know that, well, we know that we can access these ports, okay? This is a question also in this webinar. Let me make a small interruption. We will give answer to, because, well, I am from the technical department. I'm a technical guy, and I will try to explain the installation in a technical way. But I know from the commercial side, from sales, usually it's very normal that they ask us from the technical guys what can be done, what cannot be done. My customer requesting this. Okay, I will try to answer most of these questions. Okay, one question, the first one that comes to mind. Is it possible to install biosecurity and access via the internet? Yes, I already answered this. We need to take care of the communication between these two ports. Also, second question, is it possible to install biosecurity access via the internet when I have a dynamic IP setting in my internet connection? Well, yes and no. Because yes, I can install it, but then I will have the problem that in order to access, the IP may be different from the one I had it during the installation. In this case, we will have to have a separate dynamic DNS service running that allows us to always connect to the same address. Okay, this is important. This I would not go into detail into this, because I suppose I always know this would be something that needs to be taken care of by the IT department of the final customer. Okay, so it can be done, okay, with dynamic IP settings in my wide area network, but take notice that what I said, no, that in order to access the ports, the IP address and the ports, the IP address might be different. So we need to have a separate service, dynamic DNS, no IP. There are plenty over the internet that we will have to have them set up and running correctly, no? Because in order to be able to access, for example, biosecurity.whatever.com, no? That will be done by the IT department of the company, okay? Next, for the folder, next. Default database or use a separate database. This is another thing that is comes to mind, and it's a good question. The software uses a default database, a PostgreSQL database. PostgreSQL database is a kind of is a free, well, it's a how is it called? It's like Linux. It's a free software. It's a free software database that is the one that biosecurity uses by default. But we can choose a separate database in order to set the software. No, we can use SQL Server or Oracle. We don't recommend unless it is there is a good reason, okay, to use a different database than the default one. Why is that? Because the default database is protected, is secured with our passwords, and nobody can enter to alter access settings, which, as we know, is important. No, it's important that access settings are correct. And if we select another of the databases, then this can be, it's possible that is the same, that is secured, but no, maybe not. No, so when I select another database, just straight away the software shows me a warning. And in order to protect data security, it is recommended to use the default encrypted database. If using third-party remote database, security will not be controlled by us. Please ensure the security of the database account. Okay, so it needs to be taken care of. Another question that usually our sales guys ask to us. It is possible, okay, I want to use the database, or I want to know the password of the database, because I want to integrate the access logs of biosecurity into third-party software. I want to be able to go into the database, read the logs and transfer them, make a select, and transfer them to another software. This cannot be done like this because of that, because of the security of the database. In order to do this, biosecurity has a module, which is the API module, which will allow a third-party software to connect to biosecurity to retrieve logs and to insert employees. By example, I have in my company, I have a software for the human resources that has already my 1,000 employees already registered. I don't want to put them one by one. Okay, there's options, like we can import a list of users or of employees, or maybe I want to just create and I want to the employee to be sent directly to the software. It's important that this is known. We will need to do this by the API, not by connecting to the database. We will not allow this. Okay, so I'm going to use the default database for now, of course. Default database to perform the installation. Then the last one that shows me is the backup database. The biosecurity makes automatic and manual copies of backups of the database. We can choose, and well, here is the default backup path that is going to be selected. There are more, okay, of course, we can change this afterwards if needed. But here, next setting is which are the modules that are going to be installed. Usually, here there are the different modules. I'm not going to go them by even one by one, but you can see by the name which one controls each one. No, here for this webinar, I'm going to install advanced access. I'm going to install elevator module, attendance, visitor, and temperature management. Okay, these will be the ones that I'm going to explain. Here we have also the Active Directory integration. We have the middle table, which will be the API. We have patrol module. Have plenty of modules. You have the documentation you can check. But here I'm going to install all these. Also, another question: can I install some modules and then install other modules later? Yes. The software provides the option to install additional modules to an already existing installation. Okay, the license must be supported, of course, but we have this option. Okay, what we don't have the option is to take out modules. This is important. We cannot take out already installed modules. Okay, if I want to take out, I would need to make a backup of the software, of the database, uninstall, install again without the modules, and then restore the backup. Okay, click on next. The last one, click on install. Okay. Okay, so the installation is going. It will take about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the computer, on the server where it's installed. While this is installing, I'm going to go back to the presentation, okay, to show you here. Well, software introduction, as I said. Well, we already talked about a little bit about this, so I'm going to go fast in order to not to make it too long. Of course, this contains 10 integrated modules, high level of biometric identification, and modern user-friendly. Okay, here are the modules that we have, not all of them. Well, modules are, and the application. The important thing, all modules share the same personal information. So, as I said, we can have the list of persons that are allowed to enter, the employees, what we will see, and then assign them different kind of access control settings, different kind of elevator controls, set them as visitors, everything that we have. Set them attendance rules different from one to another one. Other ones that we have. Well, the installation, we already gone about this. That is what is going on right now. As you can see, well, is where we can download. Here we have, and maybe the process and the configuration requirements that the software has. Okay. Okay, this is the last thing that we will come when the installation is finished, which will be to activate change the password and exit the system, and the services, the system will be up and running. Okay. Modules introduction. Let me see how is it going, the installation. I suppose it will be start. It's still installing. Well, another thing that I'm going to say once the installation is done, the software takes around 5 to 10 minutes, okay, to be up and running, okay, and this would happen also each time I turn off and turn on the server. It takes time. It's not immediate, okay. So don't panic if the software does not start as soon as I start the computer. Okay, it takes time. No, this is important. Yeah, well, it goes for 5 to 10 minutes, as I said. But even in a super powerful computer, it would take these 5 minutes, good 5 minutes, in order to be up and running. That's why the software is set up to servers. It's not normal that the server is stopped, only in certain occasions. Okay, the installation is finished. I will restart the computer later. I don't really need to restart the computer in order for the software to be up and running. I'm going to finish, and now the service is starting. What I'm going to show you while the software is starting, I will show you where the log file is. Okay, this is important because the log file will show us what's going on, and if there's an issue, if there's a problem, it can show us, it can give us some insights on what would the problem could be. Sometimes this log is very technical, no, and it's more related to developers. Okay, but maybe well, could be useful and also important if you have an issue installing. The first thing we're going to ask from ZKTeco is, okay, send us the log to see what's going on. Okay, it will be the first thing that we're going to ask. So you need to know where the log is located. The log is located in the installation roots of biosecurity, which is program files. Sorry, because my software is in Spanish, but my computer is in Spanish, but it's just the same in your language. Biosecurity, service, ZKBioSecurity, and logs. And here I have the logs. I have a main log, and an error log, which will be the one important. Here, as you can see, the size of this log is growing. Still now, if I try to access biosecurity, it's not going to appear nothing because it's still loading. So let's give it, as I said, good 5 minutes, something like that, until the system is up and running. Okay. Here, as you can see, it's already gone up. If I open this log, sometimes I see it's very, very technical, and it's not as helpful as everything. It's not helpful for every issue, but can give us, or us, or the developers, a good explanation about if you have an issue of, because the main issue, as you would see, is biosecurity is not running. Biosecurity does not start. This is the main issue. Here would be the reason, because why it's not starting. So that's why we need this log. Okay. I'm going to give it some more time while this is starting. I'm going to keep on with the introduction of the modules. Okay, personal module. Personal module consists of two parts: department management and personal department. Okay, the department management is designed to set the company's organizational chart. We will set up how the hierarchy, how the company is set. No, we have the different modules: sales, technical, financial, whatever. No, and the personal management, in which we will assign this person, this personnel, this employee, to the department that we have created. Okay. Here is an overview of what's going on and what we have in the personal module. Different options. Here, it explains it's the first module that we need to set up in order to use the system. Okay. It's a friendly solution with all the settings in the same area, which we will register the employee. Don't worry, you will have the access to this presentation. Also, here we have the amount or the templates that we have registered in the system. ZKBioSecurity is compatible with many card formats. Well, really, it depends on the reader. Okay, ZKBioSecurity, we will go into this in detail when we are in the device setting of biosecurity. But biosecurity is compatible with the green label range of products of ZKTeco, which includes, for example, the InBioPro controller, access controller, the C3 Pro, another type of access controller. Also, several types of access control devices, like, for example, the Proface XTD and the Speedface V5 LTD, which are very interesting devices because they provide face recognition and also temperature detection, which for obvious reasons is quite important right now. Okay, so when I have a controller like the InBio, which provides InBioPro, which provides connection with the readers, being by Wigand or by RS485, okay, the type of card that will be able to be read will be what the reader can read. Okay, so if it's connected by a Wigand 26, 66, well, depending on, doesn't matter, it depends on the setting. If the reader can read it, and we can transfer this read to the controller via Wigand or via RS485, then the card is readable by biosecurity. We will go again into this cards setting because it's quite important. And this will, what I'm going to say later in the card management, will save us, you as clients of ZKTeco, and ZKTeco, of course, will save us a lot of trouble. I'm going to go back to this because there is an important thing that needs to be said. Okay, we can set, as you see, for the employee, the different settings: access control, time and attendance, elevator control. Here I have the different levels: time management, elevator, parking, everything. You know, the modules, card management. Let me see if the card, the Wigand format, everything that we have. And also here, as you can see, it supports the possibility via the app of ZKBioSecurity to create a photo of the person and upload this image and use them for devices that use facial recognition. Here I have with me, you will not be able to see it, but here I have with me a Proface XTD device that I'm going to set up in order to register it into biosecurity and show you how this works. Okay, I have the different apps, which is for iOS and Google and Android. And well, finish this part. Let's go back to the installation. I suppose we don't have errors, so I suppose the software would be up and running already. Okay, so of course it is already. As you see, I have a trial period that lasts up to 60 days. Okay, for this period we can run the software with some limitations. Okay, but we can test the software quite good in this time. And also, if I uninstall and install, it will give me 60 days more. So there is no problem into this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you how I can access to the application of biosecurity, not from this team viewer connection that I have here, but from my computer. So first I'm going to do, let me open a new CMD, check what my IP address is, and as I am in the same local area network, okay, let me see, let me confirm because I'm not sure. Sorry that I have, I have pinged to this IP, which I should be able to. I have. So I'm going to access, as you can see here, is port 8098. I'm going to open here in my computer connection to the software, which, as you can see, it's appearing. Okay, so here I have the option, okay, to enter as user or as an employee. Okay, from the users, usually the entrance for the users are used for administrators. Okay, for configuration settings. And the person self-login, as it appears here, could be to employees in order to check its details and make petitions and requests and manual punches in the attendance module. This is the usual function of the person self-login. Okay. Now here I'm going to select the user login because I'm going to enter as administrator, and here I have the languages that I have available to use the software. Put it English. Okay. The default is admin, and once I start, I access it. It requires me to change the password, as I said. Okay. I'm going to put a stronger password. Okay. Using, well, as you know, I am sure. Well, you can change the minimum strength needed, but I am sure you will be used to this kind of big letters, small letters, numbers, symbols, whatever. No? Put OK. So I have changed the password, and just now it's going to show me the dashboard of the software. Okay. As you can see here, I have several parts of the software. Here I have the total of users and total of devices, which of course are 0 right now. The amount of biometric data that is registered currently on the software. Okay. All the types of available biometric data. The events that are registered already, which we don't have any, of course. Here, I can change between the modules in order to check the event trends, okay, to take the how many events have been registered. Here I can see workaholic. This is a wrong, is a mistake in the translation, of course. And the amount of visitor. If I have more modules, they will appear here, okay. And here you have the latest exception events, so which would mean the amount of times that someone tried to access by breaking like forcing a door, or try to tamper a device, or whatever, exception events, or even, for example, in temperature detection devices would mean, for example, someone tried to enter with high temperature. And here is the monitoring of the areas. Okay, this would be the as I said, the dashboard. And here, let me move this because there is no question. Everybody Still, here's everything. Well, as I said, I can see that we have several questions already. Don't worry, we will treat all this, and we will answer all the questions in the end of this webinar. Okay, don't worry about this. But I wanted to check if still people are able to hear me. And here, as I said, here we have the possibility. Oops, sorry. Let me move this around a little bit. Here I have the possibility to set as a full the icon, the page of biosecurity as full screen, which would be useful, for example, to an entrance. Okay, for maybe in the entrance of a building where the security guard is, maybe they are checking. They need to have the screen of biosecurity, and they are in the full screen, no? So they don't have anything. And here we have the option to go to the help, to the manual, to log out, and also about is where I'm going to perform the activation, which I will go now, just now, into detail, because this is important. Here here in the about setting of biosecurity, I can see which is the version I have installed. Here I have the license information details. As you can see now, everything is on the trial version. And here I have the different modules, and when they do expire, as it's on a trial, they will expire on 60 days from now. Okay, and here I have the activation setting. I can do two types of activation: online activation, which will be done directly by the software from here, from the server, that doesn't matter, or offline activation. Sometimes, as you may know, access control, some companies, they don't want to have it open to the internet. Okay, and we have to provide a way to license these installations even when the server will not have access to the internet for security reasons. Okay, this will be the offline activation. Important existing license is something that is used in the offline activation, and it's important. Okay, when you request for okay, so the process to activate the biosecurity is like this. Okay, sales personnel of the company of ZKTeco will provide a file, which is an XML file with the license, and we will always go to online activation, not to import an existing license. Please write down this. No, this many calls to our offices say, okay, no, the license doesn't work. And where are you going? I'm going to import an existing license because you are sending me the license. No, it's not this. Online activation, and that is what I'm going to do. Online activation. Okay. That's continent. My continent is Europe. Oops, sorry. My continent is Europe. My country is Spain. City, Madrid. Okay. Company name. My company name is ZKTeco Europe. Here I have my industry, which I can select whatever. Person, how many person I have. Contact, how many contacts I have. Well, this is informative only, really. Okay, my phone, the contact phone, it can be whatever. On email, I'm going to put the email of the ZKTeco. Okay, which is ZKTeco.eu. Address, Madrid. The name, it's also us. ZKTeco in the case. And here, serial number 5. This is the it will provide. Let me show you an XML file, which will be the license. So I will, as you can see, please select the file with the name ends with SN, XML, which is the case. No, this one is the XML file. Okay, and the system will contact the licensing server, and if everything goes as it should, no, I hope it doesn't leave me now bad. No, it doesn't leave me now showing bad. The licensing will be done. It is done. The licensing it is done. And as you can see, I have already the difference in the. Well, I have this module has had the access module activated, and the visitor module doesn't have attendance. This license, okay, but the attendance will still work during the trial of biosecurity. Okay, so I don't lose immediately, even when the license doesn't include the attendance module. I can still use it during the trial time. Okay, when the trial ends, the icon for the attendant, this little clock that you can see here, will disappear. I will not have access anymore. Also, as well, I will show you quickly how the offline activation is done here. First question that is that, do you have an existing license file whose format ends with license.xml? No, I don't have it. What I just have is that /sn, which I showed you before. So I click on no. Fill in the details, select the serial number. I don't know if this will do any errors because it's already used. Let me show you. Okay, so it works. And this what does, it provides us an offline activation file download, which I can need to download. As you can see, it's a file that ends with UPK. Okay. Once I have this file, I need to go to ZKTeco.com. In that case, important, not .eu. Okay, and here, what I have is in the support setting, I have the license activation, which I will go ZKBioSecurity offline activation license, load, and then, well, to log in, you would need to sign up if you don't have an account into ZKTeco.com, which I already have. And here I go to download, select and put the SN file, which was here, my desktop. Okay, put the UPK file, which is the one that I just generate. Okay, and then have here put download, and this will certainly provide an error, show an error, because the license, this license is already activated. Oh no, it lets us do it. Okay, I suppose it detects that it's the same computer, so it doesn't matter. So now I have, as you can see, I have the /license.xml file. So this is the one that I would need to step to import here in the server or in the computer that has access to biosecurity. So notice you have noticed the process. I have the SN file. Okay, I go into the server, into offline license, go into the server, generate the UPK, copy this UPK somewhere that I have internet. Go into ZKTeco.com, upload the two files. It will download the license file and this copy to the computer without internet and license the file. Okay, it will be the process to license ZKBioSecurity. Also, it's important to know what happens if, for example, this access has only for 5 doors. No? This license is only for 5 doors. What happens if tomorrow or next month, whenever, my company grows and I want to use not 5, I want to use 10 doors? Okay, then I will contact ZKTeco. And what I need to say is, okay, I have license number 15842 in my system, and I want to upgrade it from 5 doors to whatever, 10 in this case. Okay, then once I have the confirmation that this license has been upgraded, what I just need to do is to check this online update. That will check in the server if this license, well, the details of the license, and update accordingly to the license upgrade that has been done. Okay, so it's important. If I have already a license in my system, okay, do not ask to ZKTeco, oh hey, I want a new license of 10 doors, and do the online activation with the license of 10 doors while you already have a license of 5 doors. Okay, because it will be a new license with a different ID. Understand, no? So we need to make sure that we say which is the license. Another option is to provide, okay, this is my license, this is my XML file, please upgrade it to 10 doors. Okay. That would be the how it's done. Okay, this is the activation process, which I suppose, as you see, is very easy. Okay. And we're gonna go more into detail of the software. Okay. As you can see, well, this license is a testing license, and that's why I go into it appears testing. This won't appear, of course, into your customer's license. Well, let's start with I'm going to go quick about this. We already we already done almost an hour about this webinar, and I don't want to make it longer than 2 hours. Here, as you can see, here I have the personal module. Here I have the possibility to create the departments and positions. That will be to create the hierarchy of the company. I have the option to import employees from an Excel file. Okay. Here also I have the possibility to download the template in order to fill in order to import. Okay. But what I'm going to do is to create just one employee, so I can send it to one of the devices. Okay. So let me create the first employee, select the department. Okay. Select the rest. As you can see, the only mandatory settings are person ID and department, not even the name, but I'm going to put it. Okay. And here, what I have is the possibility, well, to set to which access level does this employee belong, which I only have one access level. We will go further into that later. If the employee is a super user, well, just a quick explanation. A super user into this software is some employee that, for example, in the access control module, I have options to set up, for example, interlocks, okay, anti-passback settings, all these kind of things, access control settings. Okay, a super user will break this will be able to jump the interlocks and everything, because it's a super user. The device operation role. This is important. The setting is to set to ordinary user, administrator, or enroller. We need to have at least one administrator, because if no administrators are set, all the employees are administrators, and I don't want, if I have access control devices, terminals, like for example a Profile XTD, which I want to have here, I don't want anybody to be able to go into the menu to modify the settings. Okay, so we need to have at least one administrator. Important. Okay? If not, we will have problems. I assure you. In the time attendance settings, it's very similar. Device operation role, I need to have at least one super user in this case. And also I have the concept here of area. Okay, what is the area? The area is, okay, we register the employees to the areas and the devices to the areas. Okay, so only the employees that are registered in one area, its biometrics details are sent to the devices on the same area. Example, I have office here and in Lagos, okay, in Nigeria. I have my office in Madrid and my office in Lagos. Okay, wouldn't be normal that I send the details of me, which I work in Madrid, to the terminals that are in Lagos. Wouldn't be normal, no? That's why I use areas. Set up area Madrid, area Lagos, and only the employee Arturo, which is set in Madrid, will only be sent to the devices set in Madrid. Okay, elevator control. We have level settings for elevator control is the same as access control. It's instead of access control and controlling doors, we control floors, okay, for elevator. And here I have some other details. Also here we have the exposure to cases that is for them the temperature detection module that install them automatically. Okay, let's click OK to generate the employee. Here I also have the possibility of dismiss this employee, okay, which will actively delete the employee from the devices. And I will not, if I want to dismiss an employee because I don't want to delete an employee. If I delete an employee, I lose its data, I lose its records. No? I don't want to lose it, even when it's resigned, when it's not on my company anymore. So what I'm going to do is to set it as dismissed. Okay, I mark it as dismissal. Okay. Here, well, I have several. I can possibility to put custom attributes and some other parameters. Here I have the length of the IV. Well, if I want to support letters in the number, I don't recommend to support letters in the IV because some of the devices don't work with this. Maximum length of the cards, this is shown in decimal, hexadecimal, several settings, okay? And here, important is the card format settings, okay? Here I have, let me open this so I can have a little bit more space. Let me close this here. Here I have the card settings. Here I have the Wigand formats, okay, important. This is important because ZKTeco, as you may know, as you surely know, has a wide range of types of cards and types of readers to support these cards. And this, when it's a new installation that uses new cards provided by ZKTeco, is not a problem. But what happens if we are changing in a customer one access control solution to ZKBioSecurity? Usually, they will have their own set of cards, okay? Which maybe they are, I don't know, for putting an example, HID, okay? And the salesperson will go to the technical guys, us, and will ask, okay, do any readers of ZKTeco support HID cards? And we'll say yes. There are several that support HID cards. Okay, and they set up, they put everything, and then go to the installation, and then problem: the cards are not read correctly, or they are not read at all. Okay, why is that? Because sometimes the format of these cards are not supported, or is special, even more with important companies that make cards like HID or Legic or whatever. Okay, so make sure, and this is a recommendation I made to all the technical people that are here, and also to sales, in order to not have problems, you make sure that the card is read as the customer wants before making the installation. And this, the best thing is that they send to you the reader and the card that they're going to use, and test it before the installation. Okay, this is important. This is what I wanted to say. I said before, I'm going to go further on this because it's important. This will save us a lot of trouble. Here I have the option to also to test the card formats, okay? So if I'm not sure which is the format, if it's Wigan 26, 34, whatever, put this test, select the device, read the card, and the device will try. But as you see, here I have site code. Do I want to read the cards with site code or not? Do I want to have them as card number? Am I going to import the employees from another system which already have the cards, and maybe I have 10,000 people registered already with a different number? This could be a problem. You understand that, right? Okay, so this is important. And this is the personnel module. As you can see, so this module is quite simple. Okay, it's just the registration of the employees. Okay, going to more more detailed things is the access control module. In this point, let me connect the device. I will not take long. Will not only take a few minutes. I have the thing, but I was running late and I didn't have the time to do it before. So let me connect the device to the software, and we'll show you how to register a device into ZKBioSecurity. Okay, as I said, I have a ProFace XTD device, which is an exceptional device. As you can see, as you know, the type, the face recognition is outstanding. It's my personal preference, really. And it has a screen, and we can make the communication. It is very easy to configure. Okay, so let me check if it's in the correct module, which I think not, because I was using it in the other module before. Put it to access control, reboot again. Okay, access control. Let me go back a little bit to the presentation. Access control is web managed system which enables access control function, of course. Store opening times, level for registered access. Okay, these are the modules that the options that are allowed into the access control module, which you can do. Two ways to add access: add device by manually. The by here shouldn't be, or add device by searching. I usually 100% of the times prefer this mode, because this way I am sure that the device is configured correctly. Okay, now I will show you the process to add a device. Time zones. Here I can set time zones. Allows administrator to set specific time zones during the day that specific credentials are valid. Okay, example. Well, here is an example from until maybe from 1905. Maybe I can enter just with card, but maybe with from 5 until the next day, you need the face and the card in order to enter. It will be a definition of auxiliary inputs and outputs depending on the device. Here, the real-time monitoring is the screen that usually security personnel will have to see what's going on. We can activate lockdowns to close everything and to open, of course. We have the important, we can auto export the transaction. This is quite useful because we can use this automatic export of transactions to also integrate with third-party softwares. Okay, maybe they don't need the API. Maybe they just need, okay, I just need a file in text that has all the entrances and that have been done in the day. Okay, you set the transactions how to export, and this is generated into an email. Okay, send by email. It will work automatically. Okay, departments and groups. Of course, I have rules for departments and groups. Well, limit entry by time zone, as I said. You can schedule holidays, half-time days, specials, everything. We have the global link, the global functions. Okay, here we have, of course, as you will see in the software. Let me go back to the software one moment. We have the access control functions and the advanced functions of access control. The access control functions are the normal one. Okay, holidays, access levels, interlocks, linkage, passbacks, first person, etc. Advanced functions is the same, but with a global here in the front. What does that mean? This means, for example, I have an access control setting, like an anti-password, would work usually only for device, okay, or for a controller. Okay, what happens if I have several controllers or several devices controlling the same area because the one area has more than one entrance? Okay, then I want to set a global anti-password in order that if someone comes into the area from one device, another device that goes to the same area that makes the person be able to enter to the same area is not able to pass because there's an anti-password setting. Okay, this will be done with the advanced functions, and we will go a little bit further on this just now. But as I said, anti-password goes to the same area. Okay, global interlock the same. Okay, who is inside? Okay, as we define it as zones, we can verify how many people remain in a specific area or room. And occupancy control. Okay, this is important. Okay, we can, even if the device controller knows me, has my details, my biometric details, it will not allow to enter an area if there are if it's restricted for 10 people. For example, if you are the 11th. I have a map, we can say. I have not used this function, but it's useful. And as I said, it supports green label terminals reader, not only controllers. Here, okay, here it says this image. I don't find it too good because, as you can see, it implies that the ProBio terminal needs to be connected by WIGAN to the controller in BioPro. It shouldn't. That wouldn't be the case. Okay. ProBio is a green label and can be added directly to the software. Reports, iOS and Android app, which we can open a door remotely. Well, and here I have how it's practically set up. Okay, I have the controller via TCP/IP. I enter to set. I can connect even a ZK20 reader in order to register. Okay, and I have the readers connected. Okay, going back to the software, what I'm going to do here, I have the device. As you can see here, I have, well, as I said, I have new, which I can set the device name and IP, but I would not recommend to use this way of adding devices. I have the search function. So in my device, Proface XTD, what I'm going to do which is already connected to my network, what I'm going to do is go into the cloud server settings under the communications menu and set it so it's pointing, okay, to this software, to the server, okay? So I'm going to search, and here, as you can see, the current system communication port is 8088. Please make sure the device is set correctly. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. As server address, I'm going to put the IP because it's in the same local network, 92 is the IP address, and as port, I'm going to put 8088. Okay, so the device is set already. So now what I'm going to do is to click on search, and if it doesn't want to let me down now, the device will be found automatically. So here it is, as you can see, I have detected a device which is a Proface XTD. The serial number matches, so I am sure that this is the device. So I'm going to add it. And important, another thing that mostly in the first installations leads to many calls, many problems, and many tickets. Add the device to a level. Okay, we can add the device without setting the level to which this device is set to. But what's going to happen is that, of course, if you remember, I have in the personnel module, I said, okay, this employee is assigned to the level, to the general access level. Okay, so I need to add the device to the general access level in order for this employee to be sent to this device. Okay, first, the typical call, the typical question is, okay, I have registered the devices, I have communication, it shows it's connected, but the employees do not show in the device, and it's just because of this. So make sure that you have this set correctly. Also, I have the possibility to clear data in the device when adding. Another important thing, usually the installation of the devices or the controllers are done by a group of people, maybe maintenance or installation people, okay? And the installation of the software is done more by IT personnel. Maybe the devices are already connected in the company, but the software no. And what happens if I click on clear data? And maybe the devices are already being used. Maybe people have registered employees in the device, in everything, okay? And then I want to keep these records. If I want to keep these records, I would not select this. It's not the case right now. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to click OK. The device is registered. Okay, it takes a few moments. Okay, it looks still. I want to check. Some people that say that sound quality is not the best. Deeply sorry that this is not the best, but I think you can hear me correctly. Okay. Okay, now if I refresh, okay, as you can see, the device already appears on my list. Okay, it's online, it's connected, so now the device is ready to register to be used as an access control device. Okay, important for this kind of devices, Proface XTD. Usually, I'm going to register faces. Okay, so it's important that I set them as registration device, because if not, next call from the final end customer. Okay, no, I'm registering faces, and I have 3 devices, and they are not being sent to each other. Okay, because as you know, this software, I did not make a comment on this, but this software, BioSecurity, uses push communications, the push SDK to communicate. So it is not needed that if I have 3 devices, Proface XTD, an example, or fingerprints or other kind of devices for a reader, it is not needed that I actually register my face in all 3. I just register it in one, and the SDK is what connects the device, so sends the faces and fingerprints and whatever and employees to the different terminals. If I don't click on register device, when I register, if I don't set the device as register device, when I will register the device, it will not. When I register my face, it will not be sent to the rest of the employees. So it's important. control. No, sorry, set up, set as registration device. Yes. Okay, register device. So more on this screen, because this screen is quite important, the device setting. Here I have the possibility, well, so delete, export, search and reset, control. I can clear administrator permission. I can upgrade the firmware if needed, perform a reboot, synchronize time. The time will be normally synchronized. Okay, the push communications already synchronize the time. Can disable, enable, send the data back to the device. Here in the setup, I also have this option, set background verification options. Okay, important. Before I spoke about the advanced functions of the access control. If I want to use the advanced functions, which means, as I said, that I have several devices to control one same zone. Okay, for example, I have a global interlock or a global anti-passback. If I pass from one device, if I go in, I don't want to let me go in again until I go out. Okay, but I want to make it with more than one device because I have several devices to control the same zone. I need to set up background verification options, because in this situation, okay, it is not the device that is going to make the verification that the employee is allowed to enter. It's the software. Okay, so when I configure this, when I put myself in this case in front of the device will request to the software if this employee is allowed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is set up the background verification. In this case, you can set it as enable. I will not do it. Okay, and also what happens if the device is offline. Okay, then I'm going to say, okay, what do you want? What do you need to do if the device is offline? To follow your local rules, to your own set of rules, or to actually deny access to everybody. Okay, we can set this function just here. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to close. More things. Device time zone. If it's not on the same time zone as the server. Well, if I, for example, if I have here, for example, my server is here, but my devices are, I don't know, in America. Then I would need to set the device time option to the correct time zone. Okay. Also, I have here if there are daylight savings time setting to be done. Here in Europe, daylight saving time starts this Sunday, but I don't need to do it really, because the devices are on the same area as me, and the server will automatically synchronize the devices. Okay, this just needs to be done if the devices are in an area that have different daylight savings time that the daylight savings time setting of the server. Okay, also I can modify the fingerprint identification threshold. I can set by default if the device is an in device or an out device, and also here I have the extended parameters, which in this case of this terminal are the temperature detection. Okay, I can have get the option and view the rules and everything, and I have the option here to modify some addresses. Okay, this is the setting of the device. Here I have several. I don't want to go one by one, but here if I have the definition. If I have a serial relay box, okay, which I will need to define it here. Here I have the door options. Here, this device doesn't have too many options, but I can select which is the verification mode, if I have a duress password, if I want to disable the sounds, also if what time zone is the device activate, if it has a touch sensor type, and here I can set a passage mode time zone, which would mean it's a time zone, is a type, well, time zones are defined in the access control. That's why I only have the 24-hour accessible time zone right now. But I can set a time zone in which the device is open. Okay, so the device will not close the door. Okay. Also here information about the readers. Not much, just the definition. auxiliary input, outputs, list of events, configuration of daylight saving, device monitoring, which I will see what has happened if I had abnormal state, and here the real-time monitoring, which will show what's going on in the device. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so you can see, is I'm going to register my face into the device, which is already connected. Okay, it shows my employee. I'm going to register my face. Okay, I'm enrolled in the device already. So let me show you just in a moment that in the employee area, if I go to personnel, I will see that I have already a verification mode, which is the one that I done, face recognition. And I will go back to real-time monitoring. Here, as I said before, it's useful if I set it to full screen. Okay. As soon as I put my face, well, sorry, because it has face, has the mask setting, without mask access denied. That shows us I'm going to disable mask detection. As soon as I put my face, it will show that the device has opened the door. Okay, so as you can see here, this will be the screen that I will see everything. Here also I have several options. I can close everything, no? Close all the doors. Password is incorrect. Sorry. I had caps lock on. I can activate a lockdown, and the device is closed. Okay, device now, if I put me inside, won't verify me, won't let me down, won't let me pass because the door is locked. Okay, I'm going to open it again. Go down. Okay, it's done. Okay, here I have that deactivated. Okay, here I have also what is happened between the inputs and outputs. Let me take it back there. Well, don't matter. Open it again. That's it. And here, well, alarm model monitoring. And here I want to go a little bit slower into the access control settings. Okay, here I have the definition of time zones, which I will need to add them to the doors. Holidays, which will parts or dates that the time zone is different. Access level, as I said, here I have just by default a general access level. I can set as many access levels as I need. I can add as many doors as I need to this access level, and then I have the option to set access by levels. Okay, so by level I add the personnel that is assigned to this level, or the other way around. Okay, I can have a list of employees and add it to the levels that I have, even by department. Okay, so I can have many, or whatever access levels. One is general, maybe one is CEO. It's only the CEO of the company is able to access these doors. Parking, etc. Okay. Interlock definition, as I said, this is in order to open one door, another one needs to be closed. Linkage, important. Linkages are a central, crucial part of the access control definition. Here, I have a very useful example I can show you. For example, I have a device that controls temperature. Okay, I want to create a linkage to define what's going to happen when someone comes to the device with high temperature, high body temperature. Okay, so linkage name, high body temperature. Oops. Device, select the device. Okay, on this device. Linkage trigger conditions. Okay, I can make a trigger, okay, in all these conditions, which are the ones that the device support. In this case, high body temperature. Input point any, output point any. And what's going to happen? Okay, first I want to close. I don't want the people to be able to access. Okay, and also I want to send an email to someone. Okay, in order that it is known that this person tried to access the template. Okay. Also, I have several others, not only this. I can make a condition on what's happening if there's someone tries to access when the device is disabled, or the access is denied, or a door is forced, which should be door opened forcefully. Okay, maybe I want to set a trigger to one output, no, and set up an alarm. No? This one doesn't have outputs. This device will appear here. Okay. There is a full set of options that you can test. Okay, as I said before, please, please do. That will let us check these all the options that BioSecurity provides. Okay, so this about the linkage. Anti-passback. Know that anti-passback. If someone goes in, it's to go out before going back in. Okay, we can set this. First person normal open. What is this? First person normal open is that, for example, I have maybe a security guard in a door. So I want to decide that if some person, well, here I don't have, this device, I will ask this person that if this person comes and opens the door, the device will leave the door open until this person, well, it ends the passage mode time zone. Okay, but just when this person comes, this employee comes and opens the door. Okay, so this is first person normal open. So if this person, the device, the door is closed, everybody needs to pass, show the card, show the face, put the fingerprint, whatever, in order to open. But if this person shows, then the device is open until this passage time zone, this time zone is ended. Okay, that will be this configuration. For example, as I said, option. I have a security guard I have a security guard, and when this is come, I don't want to have the door closed. Okay, because there is already a security guy that's going to check if you are allowed or not. That would be the multi-person groups and multi-person opening door. If I want to have several, okay, I need to have one person of this group and one person of this group in order to access. Okay. Verification mode, which I can set the different verification modes for, as I said before, for time zones and other parameters. Okay, not that important. Here I have the exports. I said advanced functions. Well, as I said, this would be is the same functions but global. For example, as I said, have maybe okay, I want to make an anti-passback, but I have for the same zone, because what I do is define zones. Okay, say okay, I have only one zone with this outside, but I'm going to check. Okay, send zone code 2, which is entrance. Okay, and now I say in the reader define that this reader goes from the outside zone to the entrance zone. No? Imagine if I have all the devices in the system, I can put which devices go to which zones. So it is possible that one device or one reader, really, of a controller makes a person go from one zone, or excuse me, more than one reader goes into one zone. Okay, so that's how I would make a global anti-passback. Okay, defining the anti-passback not by readers but by zones. Okay, understand? So say rule name, zone, entrance. Okay, different doors control is a type of anti-passback. Apply to person, etc. Okay, so what does this work is that, as I said, more than one device control each zone. Okay, but different different functions that I have. Okay. Here I also have reports, which are very simple, very easy. Just the transactions. Don't have any more. Okay. If people have access here, for example, I go to all transactions. I have the transactions that I already have. Okay. Even here, I have my face. That's me. And I can show everything. Okay. So here, this would be the access control module. The other one that I want to show, not as much because the time flies and we're already 1 hour and a half in. The attendance module. Well, the attendance module, you need to know, it's not as complex as attendance softwares, okay, such as BioTime8, for example, which we will go in detail in the next webinar for in 2 weeks. Okay, but it's quite useful. It's quite useful and can, for a project, can let us win a project having this module. Okay, so what we need to do, even BioTime8, as I said, has a time and attendance module, much more complex because it's an attendance software. BioTime8 has a simple access control module, and BioSecurity, as an access control software, has a simple attendance module. Okay, so it's important that what do we need to do to control attendance using BioSecurity. First, we have our set of the same set of, there are another set of devices that we need to register in order to control attendance with BioSecurity. But it is not as restrictive. iClocks, F22s, everything, many types of. If the device has push communication, ADMS configuration, then it's a quite good possibility that it will be able to be registered on BioSecurity. Also important, if I am going to use access control devices, such as readers connected to a controller to perform the attendance. If that's the case, we will not register here. We would register in attendance points. So here I'm going to click on new, attendance point entrance, the device module, access control, and I'm going to select which of the access control devices, readers, or doors, maybe better, are used as this attendance point. Okay, and this is important because when I request for the license, okay, I need to specify. Well, let me start again. If I request for the license to have the attendance module, I need to request. I need to specify if I'm going to use devices like iClocks, F22, etc., or I'm going to use readers to make the attendance control, because the generation of the license is different. So I don't want to do the installation. That doesn't work. Okay, that's what's going to happen if we don't control this. So it's important. Okay, and this is what I wanted to say. Basic information. Here I have the rules. What's the check-in rule? If the device is about what is the first punch of the day, or the one that is more near the actual and the time of entrance of the shift, which is the calculations, statistics of overtime. But we have this is the configuration. Custom rules that we can be done by department, definition of holidays, types of leave, so people how they request days off would be. Automatic reports, also we can set automatic reports to be sent to email addresses, which have also several configuration settings. And it's important because, as I said, it can be used to integrate the software with third parties. Here, the shift, we will define break time, maybe lunch times or break times during the day. We will define timetables, which is when the check-in time and when the check-out time is. Here also, what happens if I check in before the actual time, etc. Okay. Also, we need to select if it's a normal timetable or flexible. And the shift would say, okay, let me create one. Let me create one so we can do time shift timetable 1. I want to leave it as default. Here you have the explanation, I didn't say, of all of these settings in the manual, ZKBioSecurity. Okay, I can add the breaks here, but I know I don't have a break. I select the shift, which I say, okay, let's use timetable for, and the cycle is during a week. Week number name shift 1. Okay, set this timetable will need to be completed Monday to Friday. Okay, so we have timetable 9 till 6, shift Monday to Friday. Also, we can set different types. Right? I can put it in during days, no? And the cycle is every, I don't know, 15 days. Sorry, 15 days. Okay, and now I say, okay, number 1 day, I have days off, configuration of different timetables. If I have different timetables, we have different options that we can select in order to make this kind of shift setting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put it as work as week for like 1. Oops, table Monday to Friday. For time normal, the attendance mode, the overtime, the configuration, normal configuration. And here is later, the last thing that we need to configure is the schedule. Okay, for example, I'm going to do it by personnel. So I need, or by department, better. It's much more easier. So we say, okay, the department, this one, which is the only one, needs to complete this shift from today until whenever, and indefinite, it's not defined. So what's going to happen? The attendance reports will show, based on the punches done by the employees, if they have completed the attendance setting that I have just registered. For example, now I said, well, I need to set, it's important, timetables, shift, and schedules. I need to do these 3 settings in order to this to work. If I don't do this, it won't work. Okay, notice this is important. Here I have the exceptions. I can append, I can add a manual setting. Another thing that sometimes I get asked quite a lot. Can I modify already punches done in the devices? Answer, no, cannot be modified. The punches, the attendance logs that are registered in the devices cannot be modified in the software. Okay, this is important. Also, here I can request a leave, I can request a business trip, whatever. Okay, these are requests, these are petitions that an administrator will need to accept, okay, in order to be registered in the system. Here I also have the calculation, have the reports, okay. I have the daily report in which I have all the shift information, how much time the people were going to work, overtime, age, etc. Also have important manual calculation. If I create a shift and everything, and after I need to make changes because I made some mistakes, the basic information was not correct, the times were not correct, people were not assigned correctly to the shifts. After I make the changes, I need to manually calculate, because if don't, the reports will show the configuration of before. Okay. And also this can only be done for 2 months. Okay, important. Another thing about the exceptions. This would be what is shown in the person self-login. Okay, this would be what is shown in the personal self-login. The possibility to register appended logs. Okay. For the rest of the settings well, I lost track of the presentation. Which, well, time and attendance module. Here I have everything. I have the possibility also to register workflow management for petitions, types of scheduling that I have. You see, it's the same that I have spoken already. Flexible shift scheduling, which I didn't explain, but can select changes between people's shifts. Okay, multi-level approvals. Okay, set attendance by area or by person. Also, all that here will be the hotel management module, which is used by it provides, well, this is outside of the, I don't understand why. I think this shouldn't be here, this page, but this is about the management, the hotel management module, which is not included in the base version of biosecurity. Okay. Elevator control, what I'm going to use. To be clear, elevator control is the same as access control, but changing access level for floors. And okay, possibility online and offline. The maximum number of floors that can be controlled is 58, using as you see the EC10 controller and 3 EX16 extension modules. But the configurations that can be done. Okay, we can work online or offline. Online mode is requires a communication to the controller, which sometimes is quite difficult in elevator settings. Also, we can retrieve the data with my fare cards and then transfer them to the software manually. There's linkage between the hotel visitor and video modules. It's a visitor registration. We have the integration of OCR documents, you can personalize printed cards for visiting, batches of QRs, facial recognition, QR recognition, which doesn't appear here, but it's important. Activation of visitor access level and elevator level, which is so it's linked to the access module and to the elevator module. Multiple points, functions we have. You will have this later this presentation, as I've already seen. The types of notifications. Okay, the visitor management process. Okay, employee registered, then is authorized, then gets access. That's the thing, and also has the possibility to use visible light facial recognition as with the ProFace XDD. Maximum number of visitors, with different functions. I don't want to go too deep. Okay, and let's stop here for a moment. The NTD module will be the last. Here, I just want to show you in the software again these types of modules. Okay, this is the visitor module. Okay, first I want to register me. Okay, office. Oops, sorry. And now I can create new registrations. Okay, as soon as the registration is done. Okay, here who is visiting, who is being visited. Which for now I only have one employee, of course, so I only have one. Who is visiting, a certificate number, where is entering, first name, last name, the visitor level of access, all the configuration. As soon as I register everything, click OK, it prints if it's configured, of course, the registration card. Okay. Also have here the list of visitors. I can create reservations. Okay, in order for that person is going to come that day, and then I will just have in the visitor list to accept it or not. Here I have some parameters in setting visitor levels, which connect to the access levels and elevator levels. Some other informations, other templates, also linkages. If some people come, then need to be done this. Easy. But I didn't speak about the elevator module, but as you can see, it's nearly the same as access control module. Okay, and the entity module, to end this, it shows us who came, when employees that came to pass to the temperature detection module, and if it was a normal read, if you didn't wear a mask, as me in the first one, and or if it come with abnormal temperature. I can set here in the parameters which is the threshold for this abnormal temperature. Also here I have several options which I can see the statistics panel. If the people came, how many came with wrong temperature or high temperature, the records, the temperature. Here I also can see the photos, the individual temperature for each employee, which are the reads that are being done, most of it, okay? And here, to end this, because I want to leave the last 10 minutes for questions. Here I have the settings of biosecurity, okay? Here's the basic management, the area settings, the database management if I want to make backups, if I want to lift the backups in a FTP server, data migration to migrate from older versions of biosecurity to this version. Here I have the users and roles. It's important because I can register different areas, as I said before, and I can register different administrations per area, okay? Also different types of permission. I want maybe someone to just look at the employees, but I don't want to change anything of the access control module. I can do that here, okay? And lastly, here is the log of the commands. Okay, so this will be the end of this explanation. I hope it was useful, and now is the turn for questions. So please, in the questions part of the program, please, now is the time to ask the questions. Okay, so let me start because there was already several questions already done. Let me check. Okay, please, what is the website from where to download the biosecurity? ZKTeco.eu. Okay, ZKTeco.eu, you have the latest version always. I will list that. Which of the previous softwares are being replaced by biosecurity platform? Okay, well, the old software that we had for access control, as you may know, is ZK Access 3.5. Okay, biosecurity expands on this software, having much more integration with new devices, much more functions, is secure, works by web, multi-level, multi-location, everything. So ZK Access 3.5, which was the software that we had before for access control, is being changed. We've been substituted by biosecurity and bioaccess, which is a light version of biosecurity. Okay, I haven't talked about bioaccess at all, but as you may know, it's or you can check on our website. It's like biosecurity, but doesn't have modules, or I think the maximum is 25 doors that can handle bioaccess, and also doesn't have elevator module and everything. It's just the access control and attendance module. Also does not have advanced control, advanced access. So, but I think it's good because it's a light version. Biosecurity has all the version, has all the functions. Okay, some quality, blah blah blah. It is possible to add module after the software is already installed. We already explained this, no? We can install the modules here. Well, didn't show you this here in the installation of biosecurity, no, because this is the server. And if you go back to the server, here I have in the ZKBioSecurity what's called the service controller. I can start the service of biosecurity. Also here where is the mouse? Yeah, I have the option to add modules. You can see I have the modules here. You can add them, and it will automatically stop the service, add the module, and start the service again. So let them 15 minutes until it's done everything, okay? Please, can I get the recorded version of this training? You will have it available through the usual channels. Okay, regarding, as I can see, the first person normally opens the door. Other staff do not need to open the door with access card or fingerprint. That's exactly what the first person normal open setting is. Okay, notice the first person that comes. Okay, the first person. No, I need to set who is this first person. Who is this employee that will, when this employee opens the door, then the door will be left open until the time zone ends, until it closes again. Okay, I said, for example, security. I have a door with a security guard. Okay, when the security guard is there, maybe I don't want people to need to pass the card, or show their fingerprints, or the face, whatever. I don't want to. I don't need, because there is already a person doing this, recognizing everybody, you know. And I would set this first person normal open. Okay. Can we have this training presentation for more and better understanding? I suppose there won't be a problem. We'll provide this presentation to the relevant sales personnel, and they will send it to you. Okay. In a company where we have over 2,000 workers with different shifts each month, is it possible to upload the roster in CSV format instead of manually input into the system? Yes, as I said. Here, in the personal module, I have an import personal. Okay, I can select an Excel file, which would be the export. Okay, so I can download the template, which are the fields that will be in this Excel file. But it wouldn't be by CSV. Sorry, it's an Excel file. Otherwise, what we can do is access via the API if you have any changes. But it would need programming, so a little bit more difficult. Next question. Is BioTime 8.0 the same as the ZKBioSecurity attendance module? Similar, not the same. BioTime 8 has more functions, has much more configuration of overtimes. Also, BioTime 8 calculates salaries. BioTime 8 has latest version has a visitor module and room management module. It is quite similar, really it is, but it's not the same. BioTime 8 provides much more configuration options, as I said, because it's a attendance software. So next question. In a building with 5 different access control devices, assuming they are all activated to capture time and attendance, can the software collate the attendance from each of the devices to one template, or pull the attendance from each device to a different template? I'm not sure if I understand correctly, but if you have 5 different access control devices activated to capture time and attendance, they will all be defined as attendance points, no? And we will have a shift, a timetable, a shift for this person. Okay, maybe 9 to 5. I have five different access different readers. That doesn't matter as long as all 5 are set as attendance point. If the person comes in one of them, whenever, attendance log will be start. Okay, the attendance will start. I suppose this is the question. If not, put it again, please. Which other devices work on biosecurity? As I said, access control, green label line, which is, well, we can go to the ZKTeco.eu and we can go to the green label area and we will have a better explanation. Products, green label. All of these devices work with biosecurity. Okay. In the access module. If you want to go to the attendance module, we are not restricted to green label. It's better because there are better devices, but it's not as time and attendance. For example, iClocks would work in the, remember, attendance. Okay, next question. Could you explain more on the auto export the attendance data? Yes, of course. Let me find it because I saw it before, but now I cannot see it. Automatic report. Here I can define. Where do I want to send it? Through an email or to a FTP? Okay. What do I want to export? Transactions would be a list of transactions without calculations, or I want to export daily attendance. I want to export work time. Okay. Transaction file name. What is going to be called? Transactions, and then it will appear with the date and time. This is the file type, text or Excel. I'll put the text, for example, it's a CSV. And then when it's going to be sent, well, fields. Here it's going to be set by day, which dates are going to be sent. Who is the receiver? Need to be, well, we can put it by department. It will be divided by departments or by personnel or by area. Who is going to receive it? The addresses. Title setting. Transactions. Didn't copy. Well, shouldn't be. And here in the body setting is where I would say, for example, how I want this export to be done. The code dash person pin that maybe serial number, right? SN attendance date. And it will be, I click on OK. I have not set the sender email. Put the times. Put first day of the month, first day of the month. Put my email address. I'll read. Okay, want to set it to support. And every day, every month, it will send a file through the email with this setting that I just said. Okay, that's how it would work. Where can I download the trial version? I already said it. ZKTeco.eu. For the integration of the modules, do we need to pay any extra cost for the license? The API is a module and it requires a license. For the integration of the different modules, I mean, in order to use personnel, and I don't think so, but I'm not salesman. But what needs to a separate license, or the license needs to support it, it's the API module, important. Okay. What is the duration of the license? Depends on the generation of the license. Okay. As far as I know, ZKTeco Europe, we generate the license forever. Why is the ZKTime.net 3.0 not free as the Access 3.5 is? You would need to ask sales, not me, sorry. Can the biosecurity work with all hotel door locks and in biocontrollers? Okay, I have not explained the hotel module, but the hotel module, what just is offline. Okay, so what it does, you connect a reader, a writer of cards, and you write a card. This is the card to set the time. This is the card to set the floor. This is the card, and then you write the cards or write the card. So as long as the the hotel log work with can read these cards, it will work. Okay, that's not a problem. In biocontrollers, are not compatible with the hotel module. Just the hotel module, as I said, I have not shown it. It's just you just write the cards, and then you have the option to set the cards for each type of setting. Okay. Is the license transferable when you have a problem with the first PC? The license is what we can do is to reset the license. Okay, technically, what the people at ZKTeco, they go to the when I register a license, I register the license to installation. This license is locked, cannot be registered again. But what can the ZKTeco people can do is connect to the service of licensing and reset this license. Reset this license, and then it will allow a new installation, a new activation. The old activation will be deleted. So if I want to have two installations with the same license, the old one will not work. Okay, this is important. But yes, it's transferable. Okay, here is a question. Hi, when you add a reader for first time that comes with the IP by default, the software is capable of finding the reader, and even when they are at different networks. No, it won't be able to find the reader. Okay, as I explained, what needs to be done in the device, we need to set the cloud server settings in order for, or the push server settings, different devices are called this differently, in order for the device to be able to find the server. Okay, I explained what happens with a device like the Proface X, which has a screen, which has the possibility to enter and modify the settings, etc. But what happens for a controller? Okay, I have here a controller. I go back to search. Okay, I can see that I have a controller, a setting of a controller, no, in my server. I can find it even when it's not pointing to my server because it's in the same network. But what happens if I was in a different network? What I would do is, for example, 192.168.1.203. Okay, I'm going to go to this address, and as you can see, I have a web server of the controller. No, I'm going to select admin, again, and here I have a communication setting, push server settings. I would set the IP address and port to of the server. Okay, so I would the server would need to know would know when I confirm where is this controller pointing to. Okay. Okay. Next question. Is there any form of demo license or showroom license that we use for showroom purpose? You need to ask a sales. Okay. I say the software just installed allows 60 days of trial version. Does it do automatic reporting? Yes, I already showed. No, the automatic reports. How do we need to configure them? Okay, I think there was another setting. Well, in the access module, I had one. Here I have the possibility to export the reads. What use is this? Because for the access control there are no actual reports. No. Did I understand properly that ZKBioSecurity can work with not only with the green label time and attendance units, but with ordinary time and attendance terminals? Some of them do work, but it's better if we use always green label time and attendance units, because in time and attendance units, green label, we will not have a problem. With another terminals for time and attendance, important time and attendance, repeat. Some devices have different versions, and this could be an issue. Okay, but it's not as picky. No. It's better if you try it by yourself. Assuming this software is used for devices for school attendance, is it possible to configure parents' numbers to receive messages from school when their children come to school and leave the school after clocking in and out? Wow. Well, maybe we could do this sometime with the linkage. No, but of course we don't have SMS setting. For an email, maybe yes. No, but of course I need to select for each person. I am afraid this would need a API setting configuration with a different software. It would not be, because here, okay, I have a linkage, but the linkage will be for normal open. If I set for normal open, I don't have, okay, who has open, no? So I'm afraid this would not be possible. For client server service, what is the maximum number of workstations that we can have? Depends on the server. Okay. If you have, for example, well, client server, I suppose you mean client as device. How many devices you can have? Well, the devices you can have are the ones that you have in the license, no? Also, take notice that if you have a lot of service, a lot of devices, much communication, hundreds of devices, you will need a server that supports it. Okay. Also, maybe you need how many clients to go to access the web server of biosecurity. There is no limit. Okay. Another question. Once my devices are added using the controllers, do I still need to assign IP to the readers, right? Usually the readers are connected via WGAN or RS485 to the controllers. They would not need an IP address. Are ZKTeco panels and software compatible with other companies' readers? Be careful with this. I remember you would need are compatible because, okay, if the devices connect by WGAN, okay, are WGAN. Okay, if the devices are connected by WGAN to the controllers, then if the setting is correct, if the communication is able for the communication of the WGAN, they will communicate. Okay, but make sure about the types of the cards, as I said before. Okay, important. Okay, regarding another question, please concerning the school text message to the parents, I would like, okay, it's better that you contact sales and maybe they can work out some kind of integration, okay, with third-party software. I'm not sure if I've answered this of any free version, only for 60 days, okay, which is the trial version of biosecurity, okay, for 60 days. I think if there is no other questions, thank you for coming to this webinar on ZKBioSecurity. As always, this, as I said, video will be available for you to check another time. And of course, we are open for questions that you or your customers may have. We will help you as always. And well, as I said, thank you for attending. Thanks for the help and for all the departments that have helped, marketing department to providing the presentation, and thanks for also for all the people in ZKTeco West Africa that helped us with the organization of this webinar. Okay, thank you to all, and have a nice day. See you later.